I've been watching Madubuike one-on-one. I think I've watched 5 or 6 games. He can be blocked one-on-one, but typically it's a matter of time before he gets the upper hand. He is virtually unblockable when he uses his hands, as we see here. Everyone knows he's got great quickness and athleticism for the position. I will say, though, when he is reading, he is not always fast off the football. But you'll see him here when he's able to sink his hips, get his hands inside, lock out his arms. You can see him long-arming the tackle here, really shutting down nearly 2 gaps. This video focuses mostly on him being single blocked. You see him at 4-eye versus Buffalo in the playoff game. His go-to pass rush move is to attack the hands of the offensive lineman. We see him here grab the wrists, throw, and he's a freight train. He has great forward momentum, great speed and power. He's really difficult to deal with. You can see he almost loses his footing here, but he gets the guard on skates, gets a pressure on the quarterback. We should have seen 49 take this crosser. You see earlier in the play, Roquan Smith passing that crosser off to Chris Board. Madubuike was plenty productive in 2024. I think his pressure rate was quite high compared to 2023. Although he finished with 6.5 sacks, I expect him to up that total this year. One thing that you'll see with him, at times he'll give up his chest, play a little bit high, and again, we're watching him primarily in one-on-ones here. You can still see, however, this pop that he's got, just landing outside and wide, really packs a punch, sending the offensive lineman reeling a little bit. He does manage to sort of reset, and Madubuike has to stop his feet, if only for a second. I mentioned at the beginning, he is not going to stay blocked one-on-one for long. Typically, you see him drop his arm, get the elbow of the lineman, throw that arm, and along with his power, his speed gives him this ability to play half, and he's got this nice little dip and rip. And again, you see probably what went down as a pressure, but perhaps if his feet aren't stopped just for a second there, this is a sack. I think it's fair to say that teams have to account for him in their play calling. Generally speaking, it's going to be a quick game concept if they are asking a guard to block him one-on-one. In contrast to the last play, you'll see him get his hands inside early, get under the pads of the guard. Now he has the ability to run his legs through consistently. And you'll see at the end here him throwing that arm, pressing the guard back into the lap of the quarterback. Again, if you're going to block him one-on-one, the ball's got to come out quickly. Of the 22 plays that I pulled, I would say he's dominant in probably 15 or 16 of them. Again, I want to look at plays one-on-one. And as strange as it sounds, I want to see where he might improve. They're asking him to 2-gap here. You've got 3 receivers on the outside. Perfect world, you want to see him off the ball, and he does play high here. He does give up his chest. You want his inside arm to the pec, outside arm to the shoulder. You want him to be able to use the guard's body in a half gap, lock out his arms, and shed. He's very much a disruptor and a handful as a one-gap penetrator. The Bills are going to pull their center and their tackle. They're going to try to get 76 to reach Nnamdi. That's just not going to happen. And going back to what I said earlier, they're just not going to task, even with him slightly outside of the guard, they're not going to task 76 or anybody else with the assignment of reaching Madubuike. She's very disruptive as a one-gap penetrator. They're going to bring the center across to get Madubuike. Watch how he plays low. Watch how he gets his hands off first and into the chest of the center. Watch how he discards him. He's finding the football, throws him into this gap, gets off the block. I'd like to see Trenton take a wider angle on this. To go along with that ability to fight with his hands, to throw off hands. He's reading the right guard's outside set, has the ability to drop that outside shoulder and then rip up. That strength coupled with athleticism gives him the ability to just kind of run through in a straight line. You can see how flexible, how bendable he is for a big man here. Keeps his feet moving, gets a hit on the quarterback. I do think Mike Green will have a positive effect on Madubuike. Mike Green is going to be very effective, and I'm not sure this has been talked about much, as a penetrator on a twist or a stunt. Madubuike might be the beneficiary of that. Green plays with such power and speed off the ball. You're going to see offensive linemen have to collapse so that he doesn't split them. He's got enough power to split them anyway, but I'd be surprised if we don't see Madubuike used as a looper in that scenario. Be on the lookout for that. Right here he misses. Right here he goes to attack the guard's hands. He misses, gives up his chest. This is one of the few times I've seen him really stopped. Although this football is out quickly, really highlights the importance of picking up Mike Green. Highlights the importance for tight man coverage. Here he sniffs this double team out, I have no doubt, but he's going to try to get this guard on two different levels, just using his strength, just using his shoulders. He ends up getting no movement, and they run outside of him. You'll see the difference in technique here in terms of how he takes this double team on versus the play we just watched. Definitely sniffs it out. Trying to get these two blockers on different levels if he can, replacing the heels of the guard, the guy he's shaded on, gets his hands involved early, then pivots his weight into the tackle, able to stymie these blocks along with Harrison, close down that gap and get in on that tackle. Thank you for those who have supported me by purchasing my music. I'm going to leave another clip at the end of this. If you are coming to my music through this YouTube channel, please, as you write a note after purchasing, let me know. If you leave your name and the fact that you found me, I'll be happy to give you thanks and really appreciate you.